So go ahead, Damien.
All right, I got one question for Cerrillo, Cuevas, and Novak. Sorry, John. Just for you three, you guys were in sort of different roles. I mean, Edwin, you played a lot last year. You guys were in different roles this season. What did you learn, and how do you think what you learned will help you for 2026?
I can start off. I think there's a lot of growth from me on the personal side this year. Definitely did learn a lot, just on the field, off the field. It's just all about being consistent, right? Consistency, not just on the field, but in everything that I do off the field, and that helps with the performance in the field.
For me, I learned when you come on 2024 like a champion, you don't have any game to be easy, and everyone wants to play hard against you, and every game is tough. You need to give 200% yourself to win the game.
And I think lastly for me, I learned never to get too high or never to be too low. We had an amazing year, and then we had a not so great year. So what does that do for us individually is you kind of learn how to deal with success and failure, and kind of get to know yourself a little bit more. What you're doing when you're winning and what you're doing when you're losing, and ultimately just continue to grow and make sure this year doesn't happen again.
This question for John and Mauricio. You guys both had your contracts options picked up, so congratulations on that. One, what does it mean to get another chance to come back with the team for next year, and sort of what are you looking for in the off season that sort of gets you guys on the right path?
Yeah, I guess I'll go first. Yeah, obviously 2024 was a really good year, and then this year, like we just talked about, not so good. So I think that's our motivation. It's my motivation personally, and for me, I think it's tough to talk about my personal accomplishments this year, because obviously I'm a team guy. I want the team to do well. But no, I would say this year it's just going to be a motivation standpoint. Going into this off season, a much needed rest mentally, physically, and then ready to get back into it early 2026.
Yeah, I think Nelly described that very well. Very excited, very motivated for next season, and trying to help the team in the best way possible, right? It's only up from here for the whole team, and that's the way.
Hey guys, thanks so much for your time. I have one for John, one for Mauricio, and one for Novak, if that's okay. John, a couple years ago we spoke before, or last year we spoke before MLS Cup, and you said that the conditions in which you came to Los Angeles were, you didn't know whether you were going to have a contract, and you were kind of trying to figure out your next move. Then you got here to Los Angeles, found some playing time, and now this year you're the Defender of the Year. How does it feel to go from not knowing whether you'd have a job to being the Galaxy's Defender of the Year?
Yeah, no, it's tough to put into words. Like you said, I didn't know after St. Louis really what would happen. Galaxy, credit to them. They still believed in me, and I think I showed that on the field for them. But yeah, no, it's tough to put into words what that means to me to go from that and then to MLS Cup champion and then to Defender of the Year for Galaxy. So no, it means a lot. It's awesome, a huge accomplishment. Definitely something I'll never forget.
Mauricio, thanks so much for talking to us. You got a lot more chances this year, and I spoke to Mickey a little while ago, and I asked him, how does it feel to have kind of this young guy nipping at your heels? What do you expect to learn from Mickey as you grow into that position, and then are you hoping to make that position yours this year?
Yeah, I think we all know the type of human being and player Mickey is, right? This whole year, ever since I first came into the team, it's always been a learning process for me, and having him in front of me is, I couldn't ask for a better role model, honestly. And yeah, I think the competition's always been there, and it's all about trying to help the best team possible, right? And it's up to coach's decision for all that, for the rest. That's all.
Thank you. And last one for Novak. Novak, at the beginning of last year, there was a goalkeeper battle with you and John McCarthy. Now you're the #1 here in Los Angeles. Does that make you, for the start of 26, does that give you bump in confidence? How does that make you feel going into the season, knowing that this job is yours now and you're the number one here? Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, it's so much better when you have like 30 games in the season for next year. And I think for next year, for me, I want to improve myself much more than this year. And I think it's so much important for team and for me to be on the high level every game.
All right. I've got a question for Edwin and then one for Edwin and John. And Edwin, you last year, your breakthrough season with this club, and a lot of what your job was to react to what Ricky was doing. So much of was positioning and kind of setting it up behind Ricky. Without Ricky, that job changed a bit. What were the biggest challenges that you found? This is a team that its midfield was in flux really much of the season, really solidified in that latter half. In organizing it and trying to get it to be the fulcrum that it needs to be within this system, what were the challenges that you found and your evolution during that season?
Yeah, I think losing Ricky, is our star player, so you can't replicate what he does. You can't replicate the way he plays or how we play when we play with Ricky. And playing the whole year with him to transitioning into a new year without him, without Gaston, without Mark, you had to replace those players with younger guys who come from different teams, learning a different style. So it's only right, I think, that it wasn't going to click, for that San Diego game. And like you said, it ended up being a little bit more fluid as the year went on, trying to find the stability in the midfield. When we have Ricky, it's giving him the ball, he'll do some crazy magic, and then all of a sudden we're in the 18, having a chance on goal. And I think now building from the back, starting with Novak, it ended up being more of a collective team to kind of just build the game from the back. And that's something we had to learn and kind of work through without Ricky. So I think that was, for me personally, in my position that I play, driving the game forward was something that we worked on, and it was clicking towards the end. And that's a big improvement, and that's something to look forward to.
And then to you, just as players who are here playing a big role last year, next year, Ricky back. We know much of what the roster is. There's the possibility of a goal-scoring number 9 coming in. What do you foresee, and what do you hope for?
Yeah, I think, we want to get back to what we saw in 2024 and the last half of this season in 25. We were just relentless. I think Vanny used that word a lot, especially in 24. We were just relentless against teams. We would go, get a shot on goal or whatever it was, and we would keep pressing, and we just kind of killed teams like that. So that's what I would say. Just get back to that. Of course, it's going to be great to get Ricky back and maybe a few changes on the roster, but we're right there. I mean, we saw it all season. I think we were a few positions away, and it was just too inconsistent throughout the year. But no, I want to get back to what we saw in 24 and then the last half of 25.
And for me, like I said, with new pieces coming in this year, it took us some time to adjust, and next year there's no excuse. We know each other. Like I said, things were clicking, and things need to click from the first day we come back, because we have CONCACAF. That's very important for us, and just to kind of have the mentality throughout the team that this is nowhere near the standard, and no matter what, you can play good and lose, and it doesn't matter because you lost, and you can play bad and win, and no one cares because you won. So that has to kind of be the mentality, and we can't just sugarcoat that things are clicking, things are getting better, we're playing good, we aren't getting the results. There's no more excuses for next year, and that's the mentality that we need to instill in each other.
Question for John. We had you on our show, Soccer in 60, on our radio show, I want to say last season, either early in the playoffs or late in the regular season, I can't remember now. But we kind of spoke about, people were kind of talking about defensively, things could be better, and you kind of said, I think they're fine. especially because we're an attacking team, and you just spoke about, we press and we go.
Yeah.
I wonder, this season, I was comparing the standings from last season, this season. You guys gave up more goals this season, but not that many more goals.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of talk of we made too many individual mistakes, but it's not a huge difference from last year. Was the difference from your perspective really just the lack of relief on attack? Or did something actually feel different from last season on defense, strictly on defense?
No, I don't think it was a huge difference, but of course in 24 with the attack and with Ricky, like I said, we were just so relentless. So I think, we had the ball more, and then obviously when you have the ball more, it takes away opportunities and chances from the opposition. But like you said, it's not a huge difference. I think it can be a tough question in a sense. But no, I don't think it's a huge difference. Like you said, or like I said, we're going to get the guys back. We're going to get Ricky back. But no, I'm looking forward to getting back to that 2024 relentless style. But of course, we gave up too many goals this year. Way too easy goals. Just inconsistent. But no, I'm just looking forward to getting back to that 24 style.